I've been making YouTube videos for about 4 years now, and I also watch a lot of YouTube. It's actually kind of funny because I've spoken to other YouTubers that have said, oh, I don't watch YouTube at all. It's like, really? Like, you're on this platform? It's this whole thing. But I was watching a video it came from a box, and Sergio was talking about the Gulikit ES and ES Pro controllers. This controller is the Pro controller. And I thought to myself, that's an awesome controller. It has so many cool features. I want to check it out. So I emailed Gulikit and I said, hey, I'd like to check out this controller. So they sent this to me to check out. I was going to do an unboxing. Actually, I did record a little bit of an unboxing video, but I come to find out that in the box is just this controller wrapped in a nice little like soft bag and then a USB cable. Really like not too complicated. It doesn't really need a lot. It doesn't have any fancy adapters. It's just a Bluetooth controller, but the features that it has is really cool. Now I have a top-down camera here. The actual like design of it is really cool. It's got these really cool like lines. It looks very futuristic. The form factor reminds me a lot of a Nintendo Switch Pro controller or like an Xbox controller. It has the layout of an Xbox controller, which might be a little bit confusing if you're playing on a Nintendo Switch 2, but you can actually switch that in the settings so that it matches this layout, which I thought was really cool of Nintendo for doing. So with this controller, you have the pairing button. You have like a settings button that is used for certain things. Like I actually use it to update the firmware in the controller. And then you got the home button, the capture button for like screenshots, plus and minus for the switch to menus and stuff. Your bumpers and your triggers and the USB-C port and whatnot. But on this controller, on the back here, you have these two things. Hopefully it focuses good here. All right, you have a switch that switches between PC and Nintendo Switch. So it's just different Bluetooth modes. Switching to PC makes it easier to connect to like a computer or like other devices. And Nintendo Switch is pretty much dedicated just to Nintendo Switch. The Switch and Switch 2 have very weird Bluetooth configurations. They're not exactly like the regular Bluetooth standard. Sometimes there's a little bit of different things. So you do need like a special like setup there for some reason. But what's also on here is a dedicated power off button. You might think to yourself, why do I need a dedicated power off button? Doesn't the controller turn off when the system goes to sleep or it gets powered off? And yeah, it does. It turns off immediately when a Switch 2 or anything else disconnects from the controller or powers off. But what's nice is if you have this connected to a system, you want to use other controls, but you don't want to manually have to unpair this controller in the software, you just press the button and it powers it off. So if you have this connected to, let's say, your PC or your Mac, and you don't want the controller to stay on and burn up the internal battery in here, you can just hit the button and power it off. Or if you're playing on a Switch 2 and you're playing a game with a friend and your friend leaves and you want to still play that same game and has a single player mode, you can just turn the controller off. You don't have to worry about it still being connected to the system and burning up all the internal battery. But what else you get in here? You get TMR joysticks, which are very good quality. This kind of thing will let these joysticks last a really long time. The original Joy-Con from the Switch 1 had a huge problem with the joysticks getting really messed up and you get that drift problem. It was so bad, there was a class action lawsuit in the US for it. I'm sure it's very famous and a lot of people already know about that part. But TMR joysticks are really nice because they're much more durable than the regular joysticks that are in like the Switch Joy-Con. You have Hall effect triggers, and you have motion control, you have rumble. It's not HD rumble, but it is rumble, and you have turbo options and stuff like that. But something that's really awesome about this controller is that you can power on or wake up your Switch 2 from sleep with the home button. And now most third-party controllers don't do this, and this doesn't do it natively. There's actually a little bit of a workaround you have to do. I'm not going to talk about that process in this video. I have this video up here. I'll link it up here. I'll be launching these videos side by side, so when you watch this one, after you watch this review, if you decide to pick up this controller, or if you already have this controller and you're watching this review just because you love my content, then you can go ahead and click on this video and you can watch that process on how to pair it in a way where you can use the home button. But I'll actually show you how that, I'll actually show you it working in this video. And so I have my Switch 2 here. I'm going to put it to sleep, which the controller will now turn off. And I'm sorry about the focusing of this webcam. This webcam has been giving me a little bit of trouble, but if you hit the home button here, it'll power the controller on. The system powers on, and then you'll feel a rumble on the controller, which means that it's connected, and then you can use the system. So it's once you've done that quick process, it's that easy. You can just press the home button, powers on the controller, powers the system on, and once you feel it vibrate, you know that you're all set to go. And it has all of these features, and the price tag is the thing that will be the most insane about this controller, because this controller is $30. You can get it on Amazon or on Gulikit's website. $30 for this controller. The regular ES is $25, and I'm not sure the exact differences, but I think one of them is the fact that you don't get the TMR joysticks. I think they are still Hall effect joysticks, so I mean that's pretty cool. But this controller for $30 is a steal. It does almost everything that the Nintendo Switch 2 Pro controller does at like a third of the price. You don't get HD rumble, which is, you know, one of the only things. I was about to say that I don't believe this has Amiibo support, and I actually looked it up real quick just to make sure I had the information correct. It does not have Amiibo support. So the two big things this difference between this controller and the Nintendo Switch 2 Pro controller are the HD rumble and no NFC support for Amiibo. And if those two things aren't important to you, and the rest of the things that it can do are important to you, $30 is definitely an absolute steal for this controller. I played some Hollow Knight, played Silksong a bunch with this controller before starting this review, and it is so nice. The buttons are really nice. Everything is just so, the way it feels, it's so light. It feels like you're holding a Switch 2 Pro controller or like an Xbox Series X controller, which in my personal opinion are some of the best controllers that have existed. But yeah, if you want to check out this controller, I'll have an affiliate link in the description below. If you like this video, you can go and hit the like button. It tells YouTube this is a good video and more people should see it. And if you want to see more unboxing, product review videos, things like this, go ahead and click on my face or subscribe. Otherwise, see you on the next one.